Here is everything I read in January. Absolute Wonder Woman 12. This one is a variant cover by Yasmin Putri. This one is pretty good. I am reading Absolute books in trades now though, so I'm kind of sporadically getting the issues whenever I feel like there's a nice cover or there's a nice story point. I did want to get the Wonder Woman Batman crossover ones, but I did not, unfortunately. Immortal Legend Batman number 5. There is one more issue left of this series, so it's almost ending. And it generally is kind of okay. You know, there was a lot of ideas I didn't think they played with enough, but you know, it's just a fun intergalactic Elseworlds for Batman. Marion Heretic number 3. This one had a lot of potential. I really liked the atmosphere of the world and I liked the art, but the story fell flat, the writing fell flat. So I did drop this after this issue. So I only have 3 issues, but I don't think I'm going to read anymore. Red Hood vs. Joker. This is part of the DCKO tie-in. This one was pretty good. There's a lot to like about it. You know, there's really good Red Hood, Jason Todd moments, kind of understanding him more. It does feel like a platform or a transition to like Red Hood story down the line, but there's nothing planned at the moment, so we will see. Harley Quinn vs. Zatanna. This is another tie-in. This one was okay. It had nice Zatanna moments, but generally it was kind of okay. Ultimate Endgame number 1. I didn't like this one. It was kind of weird, and I haven't been reading Ultimates in a long time, but you know, it just didn't feel like this is what the maker would do with his 1,000 years of time. So I don't know if I'm going to keep reading this Endgame story because I didn't really vibe with it. Batman number 5. I did really like this issue, and I'm liking this series a lot. Very excited for what comes next, especially with new characters and new story arcs and stuff like that. Night Fight number 3. This one also is a tie into DCKO, and it also has one more issue left. So I'm excited to see how that wraps up as well. Batgirl 15. Unfortunately, I am losing steam for this one, but I'm still not going to drop it because I really like Cassandra Cain. So I'm hoping that it'll pick up in the next arc or the next few issues. Justice League Odyssey Volume 1 and 2. I'm really disappointed because I did not like this as much as I would have hoped. But you know, it had a good potential. It just didn't live up to that potential. So I don't think I want to keep collecting or reading these trades. New Gods number 1. This is a reprint of the original New Gods series by Jack Kirby, and it's pretty good. I mean, it's pretty standard New Gods stuff, especially, I mean, it's the first one introduced to New Gods, so that's to be expected. But yeah, it was a lot of fun to read it, and it's a lot of fun to see how things have changed since then. DCKO number 3. This is the main flagship event right now for DC, so I'm keeping up with that. I think it also has only 2 more issues left. A lot of weird stuff happening in this issue, a lot of crazy stuff. I have no idea how the next issue is going to be and what's going to happen, but I do kind of have like, you know, guesses on how the entire event is going to end. Batman RIP. This also just didn't live up to my expectations, but it wasn't awful. It was just kind of like okay to me. I think I need to try to read Grant Morrison Batman from the beginning and then all the way to the end, just kind of straight through, and then I think I'll kind of like get the flow for it a little bit better. The Boy Wonder. This one is probably my favorite of the month. This is a really good book. There's a lot to like about it, and it's just a really good character study of Damian. And then Junie Ball just really understands a lot about the Robins. Nightwing 134. I also have the variant cover right here. I did really like this issue. Very interesting to see how this story kind of like starting to wrap up. I think the arc has one more issue, and then there's a new arc after that. I am really liking Dan Waters's writing a lot too. I'm excited to see how much more his Nightwing is going to progress and how much that story is going to unfold for Bloodhaven. Wonder Woman 29. This is by Stephanie Williams, doing a 2-issue arc kind of in the middle of Tom King's Wonder Woman. This is the mainline Wonder Woman. It's exciting to see a different, fresher take because I'm not really vibing with Tom King's. I haven't been reading it, but I've been avoiding it for a good reason. But yeah, I have the variant cover for this one, and this one is kind of like a Wonder Woman supporting cast story, but I still really enjoyed it, and I still like the way like all these characters kind of unfold. I am hoping that maybe Stephanie Williams will be put onto the mainline Wonder Woman as the main author. If not, someone else. We need a different writer. Batman Ego and Other Tales. This one was really weird because it is Other Tales. Like, Ego doesn't actually take up a majority of the story. It's mostly a Catwoman story that takes up the majority, and then there's like other smaller stories here and there. You know, the stories themselves are pretty okay, they're pretty decent, but I feel like it's almost misleading to have Batman Ego as like a big title up here. New History of the DC Universe. I don't know if I'm gonna have time to discuss and kind of dissect this story, but there's definitely a lot to go into. You know, it reorders a bunch of stuff, recontextualizes all this stuff, introduces new stuff. It's pretty weird, especially from someone that knows a bunch of the history. Of course, there's a lot in here that I don't know, but you know, for the stuff that I do know, it was not exactly how I would have interpreted it in like a canon book. But you know, I still recommend it. There's just at least a good general outline for understanding the DC universe in here. The Kids Are All Fight. This one was just kind of a one-shot, one-issue tie-in to the DCKO event, and it was okay. I mean, like, it's a bunch of younger heroes kind of fighting together, and I think this will follow up in Titans number 32. A lot of these characters I'm not very familiar with that appear in this book, but you know, I got it mostly for Cassandra Cain here. She's not actually in the issue a ton. I think she shows up like a little bit halfway through, but you know, she's in it at least. Absolute Wonder Woman 16. This one was pretty good. I really like this book. I'm still only going to collect it in trades though, or at least try to, but I really like Zatanna's design here. It's pretty cool that she's kind of a villain in this story, but I really like the way she's utilized here, and I like how Diana is utilized and written in the Absolute universe. This is still probably my favorite Absolute series. It's really, really good. And I think the Absolute Wonder Woman Volume 2 trade is going to come out soon, so if you want to catch up, there's a good chance to get Volume 1 and 2 and catch up that way. But yeah, that's everything I read this month. Pretty decently sized stack. Let me know what you guys have been reading, and let me know what you guys think.